make me so mad, don't you go? I've got my day.
Yeah. My weakness is in the box of 7 locks, homie. In case a nigga ever tried to get the drop on me. Paranoid, but I keep a cool top, cause in a minute I'ma have to talk the Glock, cause niggas die for no reasons in all seasons and trying to get left bleeding, brains leaking. I lost touch with niggas I call my closest friends. Rather die alone than killed by my brother's hands. Damn, cause we all know niggas ain't shit. Damn, shit, they got a nigga sounding like a bitch, but hacks to have a nigga with a bullet in his arm, and the one that pulled the trigger call that nigga mama moms. Damn, shit is hella fucked up, caught it in his arm, no, I guess the nigga lucked up. I ain't going nowhere, baby, I'm right here. Never bow down, succumb to my fears, cause I'm so close, I swear, so close to falling into a river and drowning in my fears. It is crazy, right? Yeah, it's crazy, right? But yo, it can't be right. And yo, hell is dark, hell is hot, but this world is dark and it's cold as ice. I feel like I'm in a grass covered in snakes, man. And like, I don't got a lawnmower. It's fucked up. Crazy world, cook crazy world. Got me scared for my motherfucking baby girl. Said I wanna see her blow her first candles out. I want her on stage in a cap and gown without getting popped. But some cop cause she black. How the hell am I supposed to stop that? Damn, I guess I gotta do my job. Get out on my knees and pray to my God. Can you save me? Can you stop your son from going crazy? Can you wrap your arms around my baby? Keep her shining bright in this shady world. In my nightmares, they be fucking with a nigga. Cause in my nightmares, my girl, she be fucking other niggas. But you ever feel like an enemy around your friends, nigga? You ever feel like you adopted around your kid, nigga? Welcome to my life. I feel like I'm living out the passion of my Christ. And it's crazy, right? Yeah, it's crazy, right? But yo, it can't be right. And yo, hell is dark, hell is hot, but this world is dark and it's cold as ice.
You like to rage, don't do that. You want to play, you make me so mad, don't you go? I've got my day.
Welcome back to the Top Cast. I'm your host, the incredible T.O.P. That was the big homie, Tone You a Fool. Go check out his music. Links is in the description below. Tonight, I have a very special guest. All of you guys are familiar with him. If you're not, you need to get familiar with him. This is my man and yours, Captain Saber Bro, a.k.a. your Gracious Game Advisor, King Dre. Dre, welcome to the show. A lot of people may think that this is the first time that we've ever done a show, but it's not. We actually done our very first show way back in 2019, I think it was.
Yeah.
But tonight, what we want to talk about with you guys tonight is avoiding the trap that's set out there for you. Especially you black gentlemen like Dre and myself. This is particularly and specifically for you guys because you may not believe it, but words are very important. They don't call it the trap for nothing because you definitely go run into a trap if you out there thinking that can't nobody stop you. And they don't have a place for you to go when you get a little out of line. So King Dre and I both, I'll let him speak for himself, but King Dre and I both share a very similar experience to not too many other black people. In fact, statistically speaking, only about 2% of black males go to prison. That's a Go ahead.
Hey, damn. So all that other shit about all half black men go to jail and probation, that's bullshit then, huh?
Nah. out of the total population of black people in this country, only about 2% of us actually go to prison. And
Ah,
the reason why I'm pointing that out is because it says something about those of us who do go to prison.
mhm.
What is it about us that causes us to be so rebellious and put ourselves in situations that end up costing us much more than what we really want to pay for those situations?
Mhm.
A lot of guys are, I notice, you know, are out doing things, and they think that the authorities can't touch them.
Right.
They think that, you know, that they big and bad and super gangsters until they stand in front of that white man with that little black robe on, and they begging and pleading.
Yeah,
I,
yes,
ne-
sir,
I
no ma'am and shit.
Exactly. Never met a super gangster in my life that had so much respect when they got in front of real power. What
Right.
I want, what me and Dre is here to talk about tonight is how you guys can keep your nose clean when you out there in them streets. Because if you think they ain't got a place for a tough motherfucker to go, trust and believe. I've been there, and Dre been there too. Um, what we want to communicate to you guys in this live is the fact that it's already set up and designed for you to fail, for you
Right.
to put yourself into legal slavery. And
Right.
because me and Dre both have this experience, we want to try our best to help you avoid the same situation. And later on in the discussion, we will share with you some of the positives that we took out of that situation that helps us in our lives right now today. So, Dre, what I would like from you is I don't want you to go into the particulars of how you got to be there, but what what would you say, or can you speak to your mind state at that time as compared to today?
Shit. At that time, man, what young kid, man. Uh, I think when I got incarcerated, I was 19 or 20 or something like that. Maybe 20 years old. In my mind, I was trying to get rich by any means. I was thugging. That was my thing. I'm gonna be the best gangster and hustler that they ever lived. Right. That was my mentality. And I thought I was smarter than the system. You know, I was like, they can't catch me. They not smart enough to catch me. You know, you think you can outsmart them, and you study the game. You study the people come before you. You watch the documentaries about Nicky Barnes and Alpo and you know, the guys from Miami, and you know, you watch all of this stuff. You thinking, okay, I'm not gonna make the same mistakes that they made. You understand? Yeah, so I just thought I was untouchable. I thought I was smarter than the system. Like I said, my mind was just like, I need to get out here and get this money, and I'm gonna get it by any means. You know, I got to be in order for me to succeed at doing that, I have to move. I have to move fast, uh, and I got to be ruthless. And uh, you know, the forces sat me down for a little bit. You understand? But basically, that was my mentality: get money, get it, grind, hustle, and we're gonna get rich. Me and my homies, we was going. Our thing was we gonna be rich.
Indeed, indeed. Like I said before, I'm not a street dude myself. I admit that freely. I know
Mm,
a lot of street dudes, but that just ain't never really been my thing. And my situation was slightly different. Not, I didn't have the idea that I'm gonna be like the biggest drug dealer or even the biggest gangster. My thing was I'm rebelling. I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, regardless of what the consequences is.
right.
And what I came to find out was, as much as we would like to do a lot of the things that we would like to do, it's just not feasible. It's not even necessarily a smart thing to do. And what I came to find out real quick was there's somebody out there that's specifically out there just to stop a motherfucker like me. And I think that a lot of us black guys in particular get caught up, sometimes unwittingly, sometimes knowingly, and we waste a lot of our lives and time getting caught up within the system instead of being more constructive and doing things that's going to add to this world instead of taking away from it. And I think a lot of us, Dre, uh, don't give a damn. What would you say in response to that?
I want to touch on something you said. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I want to touch on something you said. A lot of people don't realize that for you guys that are in the streets or even thinking about doing anything illegal and shit like that, because a lot of, especially nowadays, you can do illegal stuff without being in the streets. And this type of shit seems a lot safer. But you said something that there are people whose job is to catch you. This is their life. See, you worried about, you out here, you're getting your money or you trying to do what you do. You worried about that. You're not worried about you're not worried about that dude who's working 20 fucking hours a day to catch you. See, he's sitting in the basement somewhere figuring out a way to catch you, and he will catch you. If he don't catch you, he don't eat. That's another element that people don't understand. There's a system designed with a bunch of people to catch you, and this is what they do. They sit somewhere for 20 hours a day. They follow you, they watch you, they got surveillance, they got CIs and all type of shit. See, when I was young, I didn't understand this shit until I started to level up myself, level up in what I was doing, and I started to realize that I'm playing something that I'm not going to fucking win. I gotta worry about them. I gotta worry about my kids. I gotta worry about my hoes. I gotta worry about niggas in the streets. I gotta worry about paying people. And all they gotta do is worry about catching me. See what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's crazy.
Then not only that, but I've said time and time again, and I know a lot of guys when they hear me when I say it, it may sound funny, it may sound defeatist, whatever verbs or adjectives you want to put on it. But the fact of the matter is, right now, as a group of males, we not popping. We have to go get permission. And as long as we're in that situation, it don't do us any good to think that we smarter than the system.
We're not. If we were smarter than the system, we would be in control.
Exactly.
It's nothing to say that you basically. I don't want to say like you're a prisoner. I don't want to be left like that. But I mean, if you're talking about black people specifically, we have been conquered, bro. Like it is what it is. We are in a system, and that system we not in control of. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's no you can act like you super badass all you want to, but we not on top, and that just is what it is, and we got to play the game for what it is.
Exactly. And that being the case, I find that a lot of guys avoid reality and they end up in the very types of situations that you and I ended up in. And I know for myself personally, after I got out of prison, I immediately said to myself, that was a humongous fucking waste of time. I put myself damn near a decade behind just by going and sitting in there wasting time. And another thing that a lot of black men don't understand about prison, when you go to prison, your ass is a slave on paper.
Yeah. On
paper.
Oh yeah.
So if you think slavery is dead in 2021, you need to go look in the mirror and wake the fuck up, because it ain't. And I think a lot of you guys do a disservice to yourself You know, I understand that you got to live. You know, sometimes you might have to rob from Peter to pay Paul, but I really implore you guys to try to be as constructive as possible, because every one of us is going to take every one of us to pull us out of this situation that we in as a group of men. Because like Dre just laid it out for you, we in a system that we've already lost to. I know a lot of y'all don't like to admit that to yourself because it kind of fucks with your pride. But you're going to have to put that shit to the side and start using your thinking cap, fellas. But nonetheless, what I would like to go into from this point and forward is we just touched on the fact that you and I both have had the experience where we came to understand that there was somebody out there who was bigger and badder than
And
us.
better, right?
And he was a short little white man, probably with glasses.
Just
How
exactly.
how did that change your understanding as a black man in regards to white people?
I mean, I always, we're from the South, so it's a different type of, we have a different, we have a different type of relationship. So it's already is what it is, right? And not that I hate white people or anything like that, but you just know what it is. You know where you at. Up until last year in my city, and this ain't no small town, the Confederate flag was flying high right on the interstate. Like, you know what I'm saying? And with all of the protests and all of that shit from last year, they just pulled it down because they were scared. People tore the city up, and the people who owned the park where it was at didn't want people to come tear up their park, so they took it down. But is up until last year's big ass Confederate flag, and this is in a city that's borderline supposed to be like a blue city, when it comes to red and blue and Democrat and Republic. Just to let you know where it's at. So I said that to say, even growing up, you know what it is, right? But I remember when I was getting sentenced, I'm just thinking like, damn, man, like I don't even have control over my life. Like, you think you have control over your life until somebody's sitting there who don't give two fucks about you. They don't care about. He ain't even looking he ain't even looking you in the eyes, right? You just like a number, and he's just reading off a piece of paper with his glasses. He's reading off a piece of paper, won't even look up, and you just thinking like, I'm thinking like, God, this is crazy. Like, I don't know, you almost don't feel like you human for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I've had that a similar feeling to that. Like, who the hell is this little motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? That's sitting up there. He looked like a chump. I'll probably kick his fucking ass. But
Right.
yet and still, he got so much power, he could do shit to me without even putting his hands on me.
Right.
And right then and there, I said to myself, I made a tragic mistake.
Yeah, it ain't. I ain't gonna lie, because at the time I was really young, man. I don't know how old were you when you got in your situation, if you don't mind asking?
I was the same age. I committed my crime at 17, so I was still a minor.
Oh
And
shit.
I got sentenced at 18, and then went and did my time, and I came home at 25. So
Okay,
I did
yeah.
a straight 7-year bid.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I did like 2.
Okay.
I only did 2, yeah, bro. But it didn't really. I felt that in the moment, but my young mind is still like, I'm still, that shit didn't really hit me until we pulled up, man. Till we pulled up. I don't know if we get into that later, but it didn't really affect me till we was like, damn, I fucked up. Like, I fucked up big time, man. Like, yeah, it didn't really. I just remember feeling in the moment like, damn, I ain't even in control of my damn life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who is this? Like, who is this motherfucker? This motherfucker won't even look at me and shit, right? And the cold part about it is, not to get into, I don't want to go into details, but like what I went to prison for, I didn't do it. Like I had, um, like people there lying, like the white officer, like lying, like cold-blooded lying there, like, no, we trying to, come up with plea deals and shit. And he's like, the officer that was involved was like, nah, give him the minimum, like the mandatory minimum. Nah. And it's all based on him lying. Like it was crazy to me, man. And I know that I'm telling the truth. I know that, and I believe in, higher forces. I know that was a situation to sit me down because I was moving a little bit too fast. But just the way things happen, like, and you reap what you sow. So the seeds that I was planting in the street started to grow. So you catch yourself in a situation with shit on your record that you had nothing to do with. You're just in this situation and you got to eat it. But I remember sitting there like I have nothing to, like I'm literally in a situation. This motherfucker can't even look me in my face. This motherfucker over here lying. He got a badge on, so the jury gonna believe him, right? Like there's nothing for me to do. Let me just cop out and just fucking accept something that I didn't do, have something on my record that I didn't do. It was just a moment of like I ain't even control. Like I don't know, you just don't feel fucking human, man, in that moment. It was crazy.
Yeah, I understand because like I said, we both been through this similar experience, and even though there was a difference in, the terms of our sentence, we essentially went through the exact same thing. And I see a lot of other black brothers go through the same thing. And, I be wanting to really reach out and help guys, but at the same time, I realize that you can only help people who want to be
Who
helped.
want to be helped? Yeah.
But in that instance, all I can do is sit back and sympathize or empathize with guys because it's not really much that I could say that's going to change their life immediately, so that they don't have to do what they're doing that may lead them to that same outcome.
Right.
But since I've been out of prison, I do mentor young men to try to keep them from making the same mistake that I made and losing valuable time out of their life that they'll
Right.
never get back. And that's a good segue into the next point that I want to bring up about this situation is that a lot of guys who get incarcerated don't realize that I know in North Carolina at the time when I got incarcerated, because I got incarcerated in 94 under Sleepy Joe crime bill. So I don't think a lot of guys realize at the time they were paying, the federal government was paying like $40,000 a year for us.
And they don't even realize it. That shit is crazy when I figured that out, man. Like they'll have you on a road crew paying the state $40,000 a year. You don't get none of that.
None of that.
Per inmate. They making a killing. They don't listen. That shit's supposed to go to, you having good clothes and socks and drawers. You get 2 pairs of if you got, I don't give a fuck if you got 30 years. They only give you're gonna get a set when you get there, and that's it. It's on your own. Somebody steal your shit, you ain't gonna have no drawers. They don't give you nothing else. So you thinking you working all fucking day, sun up to sundown. When you get there, they give you a pair of boots. They give you maybe 2 uniforms, 2 pair of drawers, 2 pair of socks, an undershirt, and that's it. You're on your own, bro. And that's what you gonna have your whole bid. They supposed to, every month or every few weeks buy you new shit and provide you new shit, but they don't. The state getting that money and they cuffing that shit. That shit is crazy, man, when I figured that out. So
Yeah,
just imagine.
crazy.
Oh, sorry about that, bro.
No, you go. You okay? I was just ad-libbing. But go ahead, please.
Just imagine right now, everybody free right now. Just imagine you only got, and look in your drawer, and you only got to live off two. You got to pick 2 pair of underwear and 2 socks, and you got to make that work forever, or for the next 2-3 years, and you can't wear no other underwear.
Not only
Right.
that,
And they only
don't
do laundry call like once a fucking week.
and
Once or twice a week.
don't fuck up when your people get ready to come visit you, because you won't see them.
Right.
And
That shit is crazy.
don't be in there borrowing money and then gambling, because you'll fuck around and get killed and won't make it out.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. It was a crazy experience, man.
And I'm gonna tell you something else about the prison industrial complex that a lot of you guys may not be privy to. It's a homoerotic environment. Now, I don't mean the prison inmates as much as I mean those guards.
Right.
Because what grown ass man wants a fucking job where he comes and he looks up another man's ass?
Right.
I mean, it's like they got off on that.
That shit is crazy.
You'd be surprised. You meet some of the weirdest motherfuckers working in a prison. But I say this to you guys, and I'm going to keep reiterating this the entire video. I don't care what the fuck it takes. I don't care how much you got to suck it up and look like you're a punk. Don't take your ass to prison. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You ain't going to do shit but waste your time. And you're going to assist the system of racism and continuing to practice racism against you by making you a modern day slave.
And
Don't take my word for it. Take Dre's word for it.
Listen. That shit was real, man. Racism, you know what it is. You in a situation, especially people from that environment, the police fucking with you and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But that was some crazy shit, man. Like, you hear the stories, but when you see it for yourself, it's like watching a slave movie. You know how, like in Roots or in Django, when the slaves come up and then you got the slave master or whatever, and he putting down on the slaves, slapping them and cursing them out. Nigga, it's the exact same shit. That shit was crazy. Like, you got this white man looking you in your face, got chewing tobacco. I don't know about anywhere else. I'm talking about southern prisons, southern states. Chewing tobacco, mouth full of tobacco. He calling you nigga and boy and spitting the shit in your face with your hands behind your back. You can't do nothing. You can't even look him in his eye. They gonna beat your motherfucking ass. That shit crazy, man.
Oh, I think I visited by the Goon Squad before for beating up CEOs.
That shit. Listen, man.
You ever seen a pig on a spit before?
A pig on a spit?
Yeah. You know how they roast they stick a big ass stick on a pig yes, I have been tied up like that.
They gag your mouth. They gag your mouth. They put on gloves, right? I don't know why they put on gloves. They put on gloves. They gag your mouth, put your hands behind your back, tie you up, tie your feet up, and beat your motherfucking ass. And that's that's even if you hit them, but like just as soon as you get off the bus, they put it down, bro. They line you up outside naked, dick shrivel shrimp, because it's so fucking cold. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and you just lined up. They screaming in your face, calling you nigga, and you butt ass naked outside. That shit is crazy. Sometimes you chilling, you land in your dorm, and here they come with dogs at 3 o'clock in the morning, make everybody get out the cells, go outside in their boxers. Got niggas against the wall, lined up, bent over, the dogs barking and just tearing up the whole fucking dorm. They ain't really looking for nothing, but they just putting down to show you who boss and shit. That shit crazy, man. That shit is crazy, bro.
It's very much an analog of what we see out here in these streets. When you see these police officers just manhandling citizens and outright just killing them. That's the same shit you guys see on the news. That's what happened in prison.
Yeah, right. But they don't. And then when they do something to you up there, like nobody knows, they cover it up and say you had pneumonia or some shit, or you starved yourself. They're not even held accountable. See, out here, the thing about out here is people videotaping it and shit like that, and when the police do something, a lot of the times they don't get held up accountable, but you start to see where they are because they notice that sacrificing one person ain't worth it, right? Or letting this person go is not a good enough sacrifice. So they starting to act like they're gonna hold these people accountable. And there, nobody even knows what happens. Like nobody knows what happens, but they read all of your mail. So when you write your girl and you saying all type of kinky shit and freaky shit, somebody's reading that shit before it goes out. When people write you, they reading the shit. They open your mail and they reading it. When you get on the phone, people are in a thing listening to everything that you say on the phone. So you're not gonna call home and be like, hey. I mean, nowadays it's different. I believe it's a lot different now because a lot of them got cell phones now. But back then, niggas ain't had cell phones like that.
Oh man,
so
that's a trip to the hole. You get caught with a cell phone.
Yeah, and they busting your ass. But so I mean, I guess now you could be like, hey man, they up here beat my ass and shit. But back then you couldn't do that. There was nothing that you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? There was literally nothing you can do about it. They not gonna give you no visits. And they lump you up and then they put you in a hole until your face heal. You know what I'm saying? So they don't write no reports. So you can't tell your mom when your mom come visit you in a month, oh, they beat me up. They're gonna be like, he lying. You know what I'm saying? Because they put you in the box. They put you in the box until you healed up. You see what I'm saying? They play games like that, man. That shit crazy, and they all in on it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. The male COs and the female COs. Man, I seen some shit when I was locked up. One prison I was at, I seen at least 10 officers get escorted off the prison grounds by the federal government
That's crazy.
For selling weed on the compound.
That's crazy. Yeah, the officers is the gangsters. They run that shit, man.
They run that shit just like the police run shit out here. But the biggest difference is you never ever hear about it.
Yeah, you're not gonna hear about that shit, man. You ain't gonna. It's crazy that people don't even get out and speak on shit like that. It's almost like if niggas be scared to even talk about shit like that. Honestly,
exactly.
Because it's so vicious, man. Like I said, they get it to you, bro. They get to you. I seen some of the wildest shit. From I'm talking about from I ain't really talking about the inmates and shit, but I'm talking about from a power standpoint and seeing people how people trip on power, like just being an inconvenience to you. They coming in and ripping up your bed and throwing your locker and shit, throwing everything out your locker, ripping up your mail and shit, and telling you fuck you, clean it up, and just walking off. Like, they show these shows on YouTube and what they used to have on CNBC. That's bullshit. It don't go like that. How nice they are and shit like that, them guards and shit. It's not like that for real. They putting on for the camera. It ain't like that for real.
That's facts. And just to speak back to something that you spoke on previously, I remember one time. This was back when I first got knocked. I was like I said, I was young, still young. So went to the youth camp. You couldn't go to the adult camp until you hit like 21. Right. But I remember when they first opened this prison, it didn't have no lines on the ground. Them motherfuckers put lines on the ground. Man, step out that fucking line if you want to.
Y'all had the lines too, bro?
Not only is you get ready to get your ass whooped, they gonna put your motherfucking ass in the hole and you ain't getting shit to eat.
Y'all had the lines too, bro?
Man, as teenagers.
Yeah, we had them lines, bro. It's like when you walk and everything, it's crazy how this shit operates, bro. Everything, they call it controlled movement. Everything moves at the same time. Everything stops at the same fucking time. It's insane how they do this shit and how they got this set up. It's like if you looking at it from above, it would look like a colony of ants that's in sync. Like you have a line of people here, they stop, this stop. When the yard opens, everybody moves a certain way. When the yard stops and closes, everybody moves a certain way. The chow hall moves a certain way. Like, it's crazy. And everybody is in a single file line. You're not going nowhere outside of a single file line. And you have to be, all inmates have to be within this line on a sidewalk. So you got a sidewalk and then you have a line and you have to be inside this line in a single file line. If you out of line or you outside this box, they're going to bust your motherfucking ass. That shit is crazy, man.
It's
That
super
shit is
super
crazy.
crazy. And the officer that pulled me over, or pulled me out the line. I can't remember his name, but I'll never forget that motherfucker's beady little rat face and ice motherfucking blue eyes. And I looked him right in the motherfucking face, just like he looked me right in the face. And I said to him, "You a racist, ain't you?" And he didn't bother to answer because of course he ain't going to incriminate himself. But the motherfucker looked like, who he remind me of? He
Who that?
remind me of the white dude that played the Red Skull in Captain America.
Captain America. I don't know, bro. I never watched that, bro. Honestly.
If you ever watch it, but that's who he remind me of. This is a beady little rat face type motherfucker. But that's just to speak further on that particular experience. But I'm glad that Mehdi put this comment up here that he did, because that's a perfect segue into the next topic of this discussion and that is, when you first got incarcerated, how did you cope with not being able to deal with women? And while you were incarcerated, did you happen to deal with any female correctional officers?
Nah. So to make a long story short, I wasn't. I don't. I mean, I didn't realize. I don't. Maybe I didn't realize my potential, but I didn't think I was slick enough to be doing that. And I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of scared, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Especially at first. But once I started getting settled in and shit, started making my little moves and integrating, then we had I don't want to kind of I mean, it ain't really a crime, but me and my homie, I had a homie. Dude was probably, I was 20, 21 at the time. He was like 27, 28, but we clicked. We had got into, like, when I first got in there, niggas be sitting around at the shit just arguing about rap music and all that shit. Me and this dude, everybody was arguing and shit and talking about, I forgot what we was talking about, songs or something. And me and the dude was the only people that agreed in this whole argument and shit. And ever since then we clicked, but he had been down for like 7, 8 years already. So he knew, he knew the ins and outs and shit. So I kind of, that was my homie and shit. He was like from the next town over. I'm from Tampa and he was from Clearwater. That's akin to, if anybody know, that's akin to like Oakland and San Francisco. Oakland, San Francisco, and Vallejo makes the Bay in California. Tampa, St. Pete, and Clearwater makes Tampa Bay. You understand? So he was from that way, Clearwater, whatever. So I'm with this dude. Now, we kind of took over the kitchen, me and him, because he was the main dude in the kitchen. And when I first got there, I was just washing dishes. They had me washing dishes in the kitchen or whatever. And we clicked, we got tight, and he made the person who he made the manager of the kitchen put me to a higher position kind of under him. So we kind of took over the kitchen thing and had our little, you done did time. So the niggas that work in the kitchen be having the fried chicken and cooking the Chinese food and shit like that.
Shit,
Bringing home the
I
packs of
worked in
sugar.
the kitchen. I worked in the kitchen.
So we was the dudes who had the food on smash, me and this dude, right? That was my hustle for a long time. When I was in prison, made a lot of money like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, the food is controlled by a company that's owned by George Bush's wife, Aramark, right? It's crazy how these politicians have ties to the prison system, and their companies provide goods and services to the prison system. It's crazy when you figure this shit out. But George Bush's wife owned a company called Aramark, and her company controlled the food in Florida's prisons. So the people who managed it, they didn't work for the prison. So you had the guards who monitored the kitchen, but then you had Aramark staff who kind of controlled everything, and then you had the inmates like as the engine. So to give you an example, in the kitchen you have one guard, right? It's a fine bitch from Miami. This bitch was fine. This bitch was fine as fuck, but she was over the kitchen, right? And then you had a Aramark manager, And then it was like 4 or 5 employees that worked for Airmark, but that worked inside of the prison, but they wasn't prison guards. They just worked for this company, right? And then you had the inmates doing the slave work in the kitchen. So a few of the Airmark workers were chicks, and a couple of them was a big fat chick. So a big old fat ass chick, bitch, probably like 350 pounds. Well, we got cool with them, and my homie was fucking one of them. I used to look out for him and shit like that, but I wasn't fucking. I didn't fuck any of the guards, but we got so cool and close to a couple of them that they would bring us like CD players, MP3 players, and we even had a cell phone for a little bit, like one of them old ass cell phones. But that came crashing down. You know, snitches, how snitches are. That came crashing down. They moved me out of the kitchen. They moved my homie out of the kitchen. They fired 2 of the girls, and they gave me another job. But yeah, so you know, I had my dealings with females, but it wasn't a sexual relationship. It was just like a homie type of shit. Like we chilling, we kicking it, because we basically control this kitchen, me and my homie. So yeah, but outside of that, you know, you read your erotic novels. I used to read a lot of like at night, I used to read a lot of the guy that just died. He had the books, like the erotic black novel books. Eric Jerome, what's this guy's name?
Eric Jerome Dickey?
Yeah, I used to read a lot of
He
his
just
books.
died?
Yeah, he died
What?
January 3rd, bro. Yeah, he died January 3rd, bro.
Stop playing,
I
man.
promise you, bro. Look it up. Google it. He just died in January. He died January 3rd, bro. I used to read a lot of his dude books. Listen.
Yo, I read the first book that he wrote that I read it when I was in prison. It's called Friends and Lovers. Probably one of my favorite fiction books.
My favorite one was like it was like Genevieve. It's a lot of game in them books. Niggas don't even know. Listen.
Oh yeah, facts.
Females and female nature, them books is off the chain. I read a lot of them bitches though. But you know, they were so vivid. You could go in the bathroom and read them shits and get off on them shits. Like people don't understand how powerful written word is. Like, you know, you can't really have porn, and sometimes you know, we had like little flick books and shit, but you know,
Black Tales.
And even not even the flick book. Sometimes you get so desperate because, you know, like I say, sometimes they'll come in there and sweep everything, bro. Like 3 o'clock in the morning, just take everybody's shit. So, you know, now you left with the King magazines. This is when King magazine was popping. King magazine, Smooth magazine, Black Man magazine, and you know, you got with the camera models. I mean, the magazine models, like how the Instagram models is. But they was in the magazine. So, you know, like for a lot of the younger cats that don't know. But like as far as dealing with that, like dealing with no money, that's what I did. I used to read like read books and shit. Just read a book late night, take that bitch to the stall late night and just be reading that bitch and you just get off, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of his books was like in detail like that, like take your mind somewhere else. He was a very good author.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry to hear that he passed because he is a very good author. I implore you guys to check out some of his work. Mr. Jerome Eric Dickey, Dickey. What I would like to share with you guys is when I was in prison, I actually had 2 opportunities to have sex with 2 different chicks, and one of them was a white chick, which in part is why I don't mess with white chicks today, because she tried to, you know, do the white woman thing on me, and I ended up getting put in a hole for 6 months and then sent to a whole nother prison. But that's neither here nor there. What I want to say to you guys is if you guys if you guys want to learn about why you should stay out here and continue a little no fap journey, stay out of jail, because you won't be no fapping in there, buddy. Trust and believe.
Yeah, you're gonna get off, bro.
Because if y'all having problems out here with women, ain't nowhere in the hell you get no pussy in prison. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to hate on y'all. I'm just using a little bit of logic. Salute to the big homie, the big young homie, Iceberg Rich in the building. My next question, Dre, is how did you, or what are some of the strategies you used to cope with having to go through that ordeal while you were doing time?
Bro, honestly, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I immersed myself in that shit. I've been fucked. I'm like, I'm here. I might as well, because you gotta think again. I was young, very young minded, and I didn't go to. I don't want to say unfortunately, but I didn't go to. And usually, guys my age go to like they call them JIT camps here. You know, JIT mean young. JIT is a Florida slang for a young person, so we call them the youth prisons. We call them JIT camps. I didn't go to a JIT camp. I went to an adult prison, right? I mean, I was an adult, but if you get sentenced under 21, when you get sentenced or when you commit your crime, they can classify you as a youthful offender. They didn't classify me as a youthful offender for some reason. I don't know. But my co-defendant on one of my cases, because I went to prison for a few different convictions, a few different cases. And it just got ran concurrent. But he got sentenced to a youth offender, and he my same age. So I don't know what the deal was with that. But I ended up going to an adult prison, and I was for a while I was the youngest person on the compound. And then I had after I was there, another young dude that I knew from the neighborhood, pretty much from the same neighborhood, he got there. He got there, and then another young dude. So we was the three youngest guys on the compound. So, and then I had my homie who I was telling you about, who we kind of ran the kitchen together. So I just basically immersed myself in what was going on, honestly. Now I did stay away from the gambling. I got into it a couple times, like when I first got there, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna, because I would be losing on some bullshit. And I'm like, you know what, I'm not even finna get in this shit. And I had enough this.
They be finessing on the card table.
Yeah. So I started to see that, and I was like, I'm not gonna even get into this type of shit. So if I did do any gambling, it would be like playing a nigga numbers board or something like that. But it wasn't like cards and poker. I stayed out of that. But I just immersed myself, you know, kicking the bobo, rapping with niggas, and freestyling and working out and doing all the shit that niggas do in prison, bro. Like I didn't. I wasn't like you know, getting my little grind on the side and kicking the bobo and gossiping and all that shit, bro. Because I was like, I'm gonna be here. I'm not gonna stress myself. I'm just gonna hang out. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna make the best of my situation. Because you got guys that go and they like, their mind be so on the streets that it make their time hard to do. The shit flew by for me because I was like hanging out in that shit. I don't want to say the shit was fun because it wasn't fun, but we made the best of what was going on.
Exactly. I understand exactly what you're saying. And just to speak on a story that was relayed by Patrice O'Neal, because he did time also, even though his I think his bid was way shorter than even yours was. But the reason why I'm bringing him up is because he mentioned that one of the guys who went to prison with him, he didn't cope with it very well at all. And I think he said that dude ended up like dying, or he don't know if he ever made it out or whatever. But a lot of guys that's out here in the world, they have a hard time just coping with what's going on out here in the world. And I think that a lot of these guys would not fare well in that kind of an environment. And again, I implore. Hello?
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say I know. I think I know why.
Well, shoot.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I implore you guys to do whatever you can, man. Find something constructive to do with your time. I can't say that or stress that enough to you guys. Was it something that you was gonna say? And then I'm gonna address this young man's question and or statement.
Yeah, so a lot of guys they have a hard time coping because they ain't like that. They not those type of people. It's wolves in there, man, like real human wolves, like real people who are negative people, like who operate in negativity, who thrive on preying on people, who like is real wolves in there. So if you not like that, you're gonna have a hard time being around these type of people. See what I'm saying? If you're not used to running with people like that, you're gonna have a hard time adjusting to the mentality and the energy of these type of people. A lot of people who get there, you get guys, they're not really street guys and shit. And then, they get caught up and they go and they end up getting ate alive. They can't handle it because you're dealing with another element of the type of person that's in there, right? Don't get it fucked up. You know how people say a lot of black people and a lot of black men is innocent, and most of the motherfuckers in there ain't innocent, bro. It's monsters in there, man. Killers and niggas who rob and rape and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the state pen. A lot of times you don't really go to prison for drugs on a state level. The people who in prison on a state level, a lot of the times the people who've committed violent crimes like robbery,
Mm-hmm.
rapes, and murder and shit. These the type of people who in here. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people can't navigate this energy. You understand?
Mm-hmm. To get to Mr. Uso's statement and or question, because it looked like it's presented as a question. He asked, would you consider the segregation in prison a form of self-inflicting racism? Self-inflicting racism. That's a very confusing question because from my point of view, a racist is a white supremacist, and you have to be white to qualify. Therefore, a black person, even if they intended to go into segregation during their prison term, couldn't inflict racism on themselves. If you understand what I'm saying, if that makes sense to you. But what I will say about segregation is it's just another level of imprisonment. And prison is just another level of imprisonment. And Dre was speaking on it earlier, and I second his sentiment that we live in a system out here in what we call a free world that operates very much like a prison.
Right,
The
right. You
the
just
great the society that we live in is a macrocosm of the prison system.
right,
You'd have to go there to understand. But
right.
don't go. Please don't.
Yeah, I think what my man was saying was like the segregation amongst people. Um, um, like the segregation amongst groups, and you got the whites over here, you got the blacks and the Mexicans. I think my man say he from Seattle.
Mhm.
Out west, um, out west is a little bit different from here. Like out west is more segregated as far as like racially segregated amongst the inmates.
Mhm.
Out here, it's not really like that. It's segregated based on where you from. So and nowadays they start to have like the gangs and shit like Bloods and blah 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 blah. But when I was doing my time, it was just based on where you from. You got Tampa niggas right here, Tampa niggas, and then you may have the Clearwater and St. Pete niggas with them, and then you got the Miami niggas, then you got the Fort Lauderdale niggas, then you got the Jackson, excuse me, you got the Jacksonville niggas, you got the Orlando niggas, you got the Pensacola niggas, right? So it was segregated like this, but this is not really a form of self-inflicting racism. And like I said, in order to be race, what he's basically it's what he said, but so that's not really racism. People have always, uh, white, black, or whatever. There've always been tribes wherever you go, and there've always been a form of tribalism throughout human existence. So that's basically normal when you see groups of people who congregate and they get together based on ideas, terrain, region, culture, and they form a group. That's tribalism, and that's normal. Tribalism has been here since humans have been in existence. So that's not self-inflicting racism.
Mm. Okay. Um, Salute to you, Carlos Guevara. Nice to have you here. Uso also says, I was 18 when I went to prison and got out 21, and it mentally and emotionally destroyed my mindset over time. Um, let's move into the next phase of this discussion, Dre, and that is what what are some of the things that you learned, and I'm going to share some of the things that I learned that made you a better individual after that ordeal.
First and foremost, the most important thing I learned was respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Respect in a sense of now I was always been a respectful person. You know, my mom and my family raised me to be respectful, but I was so self-centered that I didn't respect people's like space or I didn't care about other people's shit, but I would like I respected my elders. I'm not gonna cuss an old lady out. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna disrespect you. I'm not gonna call you out your name. But as you know, when you're incarcerated, respect is a lot, right? Even just like walking through somebody's bunk and get your head bust open. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
when I got there, I realized, okay, I'm dealing with another element of
Mm-hmm.
the type of people. Here I am, 20 years old. I weigh 150 pounds, 155 pounds. You got a nigga, because I always been skinny my whole life. You got a nigga who he been here for 25 years, 6'3", 200 pounds, solid fucking muscle, and he ain't getting out, right? This motherfucker will kill you in a minute.
Got
Like
him.
I learned, I learned that like I have to be respectful, or it's over, it's out, and you can't
Mm-hmm.
run from it. You can't pick up no gun. So on the streets, it'll be like if I was on the streets, I know I got something in my pocket, right? And like Nicky Barnes
Mm-hmm.
said, a 9mm make everybody the same size. So a pistol make everybody the same size. And then
Mm-hmm.
you ain't got no pistols. You gotta use your motherfucking head, and you can't run from your problems. There's nowhere to
Absolutely not. There's nowhere to run
there's
but
nowhere
to
to
the
run.
perimeter gate, and you better not touch it
If
because
that
it might
motherfucker
be
it's
it
gonna
might
shock you.
be it might be electrified.
Yeah,
And I seen a crazy motherfucker climb over 3 goddamn fences of razor wire, and he got stuck.
yeah,
And
that shit crazy.
you know what the fuck they did to him? They left his ass hanging up there, and then they went and got him after
For
he
real,
cut
bro.
himself damn near to death.
Yeah, you can't.
So,
And our fences, the fences we had was electric, so you can't even touch them. Them
mm-hmm,
bitches, it have been squirrels hitting them bitches and all type of shit. You see squirrels get fried trying to run through them shits. But yeah, so I learned how to like quickly. I mean, like because when I was in the county jail, I would be gambling, talking shit to niggas like nigga, fuck you, blah 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 blah. Like just talking to people crazy and
mm-hmm,
you get into a heated something. You like nigga, fuck you, suck my dick, puss ass nigga, and blah. You doing all that shit in the
mm-hmm,
county jail, right? Oh, what you want to fade? Let's fade. Let's handle that. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as you fight the guards sitting right there, you ain't gonna fight but for 5 seconds, and you out
mm-hmm.
there. In the joint, it ain't like that, bro. Nigga get on your ass. And
Shit in it.
nigga be beating your ass for 15, 20 minutes before you screaming and they got their back turned, right? So I learned, okay, and it's crazy how your environment can make you adapt overnight. Like I literally was a different person overnight.
Mm-hmm,
At 1 minute, I'm cursing niggas out, I'm wild and shit in the county, and then I go to prison. The next day, I'm like completely respectable, just being more respectful, respecting people's space, saying excuse me and shit like that. So the biggest thing I learned was giving people respect, respecting people's space, respecting people's beliefs, respecting people's mind, respecting people's everything, respect, and to basically slow down. But
mm-hmm.
that's the number one. I learned a lot of shit, man. We can get into it, but
Okay.
I stopped there for now, so you can have your turn as far as that go. But the main thing was respect, and that you gotta, if you disrespect somebody, you're gonna have to deal with it. Because niggas in there ain't gonna let you violate them like that. Nobody's
Ex-
going to let you violate them or disrespect you. And because you got to think people don't have nothing, and all they have is respect, and they will kill you for it.
That's facts. That's facts. As a matter of fact, I've seen quite a few people get stabbed up, for saying the incorrect thing to the right person at the right time. And
Right.
like Dre said, ain't no running in there.
Now,
You could be the super biggest Marvel studio gangster out here in the street, but when your ass go behind them goddamn gates, all that talk, that shit go in real fucking quick.
and it's somebody who looking to catch a stripe. So you go in there with that, you think you bad shit. Somebody trying to get them a stripe. Somebody trying to prove that they hard to their homies. Just some little young knucklehead who trying to prove, okay, trying to be accepted, and they see you and you think you hard. You don't know him. You don't know him from a can of paint. Y'all never had words and shit, but they catch you in the bathroom and cut your motherfucking face open. You see what I'm saying?
That's facts.
Just because you think you tough, and niggas want to out tough you, and they gonna say,
Mhm.
okay, we're gonna show him who tough, and you don't even know him. It's crazy like that. So I learned that, man. I learned to just be respectful, mind your business. That's another thing. Mind your goddamn
Mhm.
business. So yeah, bro.
One of the most important things that I learned, because I would say that, in my own opinion anyway, it is subject to differ depending on who you ask. But in general, I'm a respectful person. I don't get irate with motherfuckers until they, put me in a position where it merits that. But even in some of those cases, I still don't get irate. I learned that from being in prison. So you really got to watch your attitude, not
Even
just
yeah.
not just what you say, but just the vibe that you give off to motherfuckers.
Yeah, nigga be like, man, you look like nigga, you feel like you want to die. Like, nigga, what's happening? Like, what you looking like that? Nigga, like, you ain't checking like your aura look like you want problems. Like, niggas will try you like that. You like, bro, I'm just trying to go get my biscuits out the chow hall, bro. Like, you
Trying to
know what
tell
I'm
you,
saying?
yo,
It's the way
it's a
you
real,
walking.
it's
Just
a
the way you
real
walking.
coliseum up in that motherfucker. A real
Gladiators, bro.
gladiator coliseum.
It's just nothing but testosterone, bro. Nothing but testosterone, and there's a bunch of alpha males just fighting, bro. Over you literally, he could be like he could be just find out his girl ain't answering the phone all day, right? And now he want to let off some steam. You come in the day room, you may be feeling good, so you walking with a little bit more swag. And nigga be like, bro, turn your swag down. You look like you want problems. Like, damn, bro, like what the fuck? That nigga tell you turn your
Hey,
swag down. How we used to say swag back then. Nigga tell you straight up, turn your swag down, homie. Like, what's wrong with you? He just having a bad day. He want to bust a nigga ass today.
and don't tell motherfuckers your release date, because you might not make that release date.
Bro, they beat me up so bad, bro. But it was a good beat up. Like, don't come back. But yeah, they beat my ass, bro. The night
Mhm.
before, they beat my ass, bro. But
Yeah, I didn't get that treatment.
it was a more so like I said, it was like I mean, it was they beat me up, but it wasn't like a fuck you nigga. They just caught me in the bathroom. And it was my homies and shit, and they fucked
Mhm.
me up, bro. They fucked me up
Yeah.
decent.
Another thing that I learned when I was in prison is I've always kind of been a loner.
Right.
And when I say loner, I don't necessarily mean always necessarily by myself, but to myself.
That's how
In that,
I'm the same.
in that I keep a lot of shit to myself, even if I'm in the company of other people. A
Right.
lot of people that know me in my personal life, it takes a lot of years to get to know a lot of shit about me. Y'all think y'all might know something, but you don't really know nothing. But one of
Right.
the
I'm the
one,
same way. Let me say something too, real quick. I'm sorry. I'm the same way. That's why I get on here and talk so much. Cause I don't talk,
mm,
I never talked about nothing in my regular life. Cause I don't like I'm not much to myself. So I get on these lives and shit and I just be going. I think that's why though. That we can get up here
mm,
and just talk all fucking night. But my bad, bro.
exactly. No, you good. You good. Um, what I was gonna say was another important thing that I learned is it's cool to roll solo,
Mm-hmm.
but you kind of got to be a politician if that's how you're gonna roll, because you got to be cool with a lot of different people. You got to be a kind of a trafficker of information.
Right.
You know, you got to keep your ear to what the fuck is going down on the ground and what the fuck is going on, so you can avoid a lot of shit.
Right, right. You gotta learn how to deal with people, your social skills. You gotta learn how to talk to people. You have to, move around and be what you say, what's the word? I'm trying to find the word for it. I don't like kind of like a politician to where you I can't find the word for that shit, bro.
Kind of like like a socialite almost.
Right. Yeah, basically. Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
be able to interact with everybody in the party
Right. Right.
like that. So when you guys see me kicking it with a lot of people, that's where I get that from.
Mm,
Because prior to me going to prison, shit, I don't even really like people like that to be
right.
wanting to kick it with them for a long time. You know, no shade and no hate, nothing like that. But that's just my personality. And another thing I learned, and this is probably will a lot of you guys will be able to identify with this, is sexual self-control and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in prison, at some point in time, you're gonna get tired of beating your meat, man.
Yeah, you will.
And you're gonna have to come to some kind of resolution as to how you're gonna handle that situation. And I can tell you personally that for me, it worked out for the better, because it helped me out immensely dealing with women
Right.
alone.
Right.
Uh, could you speak to that in your own experience?
Yeah, like I have no problem with going without sex. Like a woman can't be like, oh, she can't use sex against me, bitch. I went calendars without pussy. Like it didn't break a sweat. I wasn't ever in there like, oh man, I just need some pussy so bad. No, it just is what it is. Okay, I ain't gonna have no hoes right now. I jack off and pussy use lotion. It's all good. I use my imagination. So um, I learned, how to go without women, basically. Like I said, I still dealt with women, and women came to see me and write me and call me, and I call them on the phone, but just being in the presence of a woman. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I did realize, and I hate the sound. I hate the sound almost like not really simpish, but I did understand the power of a woman, and I understood how dangerous this power was at the same time. Um,
Mhm.
this is why important that you keep a healthy balance. We tell you guys to not chase women, don't put yourself first and shit. But you have to understand we reproductive creatures. This is what we're here to do. So you may not want relationships and all that shit, but it's cool to have a healthy balance of feminine energy in your life. That's okay, right? Even if you
Mhm.
don't want to be with them, even if they just your friends or whatever the reason is, that's important. Um, I learned that because in being without, so you're on the street, you're seeing hoes in the club, you're seeing, cleavage, you're smelling women, you can see and feel them. But when they remove that from you, it's powerful to where a guard who's 275 pounds but ugly starts to look beautiful to you. See what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Right.
Oh,
So
most definitely.
it if that don't show you how powerful, and not powerful in a way like, oh, women are gods, but it just to go to show you how dangerous they can be. And I realized that, like, you know a lot of women use this, a lot of women use their essence to pull one over on you, right? Because I'm sitting there, I remember one day, and I swear to you, bro, this broad had to be every bit of 300 pounds. uh Big light skinned piggy, Miss Piggy looking chick, big huge chick, right? But she was a guard. I remember
Mhm.
one day just thinking like, damn, this bitch fine. Like I was looking at her, it's like, damn, this bitch fine as hell. I had to catch myself like, what the fuck is you doing? Like, but I realized like, damn, it's
Mhm.
important to be able to maintain and to, have successful dealings with women, and to keep them around you, not really keep them around you, but have a healthy balance of that shit. Because the shit'll play a trick on you, bro. Like I say, you it's a 300-pound man. Speak like ill, like I would never, right? But I'm sitting there like, damn, this chick fine, and like you damn near about to gun her down. Like that was crazy, man. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
that's some shit I ain't heard in years. God
Oh,
damn.
gunning.
Damn. Yeah, that's
Oh
a
yeah.
blast from the past right there. But
Oh yeah.
this is a good segue into something that I've had on my mind for many years, and I even had the pleasure of having this discussion with a good friend of mine who just so happened to have been my trainer when I first got into trucking, and we was having a conversation, and he said to me, Kareem, he said, I bet you don't even realize most of the motherfuckers that's in prison is in prison behind a bitch.
Yeah.
In one way, shape, or in some shape or form, guys go to prison ultimately behind women.
Yeah. The prison.
Their actions are in some way, to garner women's attention.
Yeah, by trying to take care of them, get their attention, take up for them, get revenge on them, whatever is pretty much I would say all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 98% of men are in prison behind the woman. If you scratch deep enough, there's a woman
Mm-hmm.
at the center of it.
Mm-hmm. And including your mama. I
Right.
just, I just want to say that because
Right.
you niggas that's listening know I'm telling the truth. I know you know somebody who was a drug dealer, like your boy on the wire, Weebay son. I know I know you niggas know some Weebay mamas in real
Right.
life,
Yeah. Yeah. I
but
know. I know a lot of mamas like that.
that to say, fellas, this is a gem. It's one of the biggest gems you probably ever gonna get from me. Women are that dangerous that
Yeah.
you'll fuck around and inadvertently do some shit that you don't think is for her, but really is for her because you think it's you doing it, and you'll ruin your life.
Bro, listen. I was talking about this the other day. People thought I was crazy. We are hardwired to be this way. We are teaching you guys how to basically trick nature. Dude, you are hardwired to if you see a woman crying or a child crying, the testosterone levels in your body drop by half. That's a scientific fact. Why do you think that this is? We are hardwired, the damsel in distress, right? Even if you may see a woman fixing her tire on the side of the road. You see men rush, and it's not because they think that they're gonna get some pussy from the woman, right? But we hardwired this way. It's how you have to like trick yourself not to feel bad when a woman cry, not to want to help a woman, not to want to be there and take care of a woman. We hardwired to be like this. They hardwired to serve us. You see what I'm saying? They hard. It's almost like how we teach, attraction ain't really a choice. When they see what they like, they instantly get submissive. They hardwired to do that. We hardwired on the other end. So when you see guys in prison, there's a woman behind it. There's something, maybe some chick, you know, dude was trying to sell dope so he can feed his baby mama and take care of his baby mama, take his baby mama shopping. Dude trying to rob to put food on his in it, impress his girl. Niggas trying to get fly to fuck hoes. Uh, nigga bust another dude head because he was fucking his bitch. The neighborhoods that's beefing 10 times out of 10 started behind it was a bitch somewhere that niggas was fighting over. And one of them got killed, not two neighborhoods beefing. Pretty much every neighborhood that's beefing in America pretty much started behind some chick. So but that's because men have this Captain Save-A-Ho shit, right? And we basically have to. People thought I was crazy when I was saying that, but we basically have to. We basically teach you how to trick nature, how to turn that off. You understand? Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you. My bad. My bad. I hit my mute button. But no, it's not crazy at all. And guys like you and I, we know. These other guys don't know. They probably think that we sound fucking crazy when we say this shit. But
Right,
if you really sit back and peep was how the shit really go down, you'll see it. And if it wasn't there, then you wouldn't see it. But moving back into uh some of the things that you took away from your experience that ended up being positive uh in your life, are there any other notable lessons that you learned from that experience that you would
yeah,
like to share with these guys?
yeah. I'd say there's a few. First, which was why we're doing the whole show in a bit. In the first place, is that I'm not in control, and I realized that I was playing a game, a losing game. And once I realized that I'm a slave for real, and an OG sat me down and I read the Constitution. Right, I read the man. He's like, man, because them old dudes, they be trying to save the young bucks because they see how you moving in there, and they don't want you to be like them. The same thing I would do, right? So it's like what we trying to do right now. You got older cats in there that have our mentality trying to save it. So yeah, I had older dudes in my ear. One of them let me read the Constitution. Man, sit down and read the Constitution. And not just pertaining to your case. Read the whole thing. And I read how slavery is abolished and it's illegal, except for when you're convicted of a felonious crime. So I'm sitting there like, whoa, hold up.
Some deep shit.
This is in the Constitution. Slavery is abolished. There's no slavery is illegal, except for if you convicted of a felony.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting here like, wow.
Y'all playing.
Wow. I'm a fucking slave. Then that Trick Daddy, because I used to listen to Trick Daddy a long time. Trick Daddy,
Mm-hmm.
his lyrics start popping in my head. Free me. I've been captured by some demons. They drained my blood, taking samples of my semen. Got the nerve to call me crazy. Tapping all of my telephones, questioning my ladies. They say, free me. I've been captured by some demons. Right? So I'm starting sitting there, and this is playing in my head. I'm like, I'm a fucking slave, bro. Like, and I work, and I'm making the prison money, and I ain't getting paid for it. They don't pay you. Literally working from sun up to sundown. So I'm like, you know what?
70 cents a fucking day.
Nah, ain't no 70. Listen, hold on. In Florida, bro, ain't no 70 cents. My ass, you work for free. Ain't no 70 cents a day. They only pay the people who, like, when you go to visit and then you have the canteen line or the commissary line, those are the only people who get paid. Is the guys who work the commissary line, and they make like 20 cents a day. Everybody else ain't getting no paid, no nothing. You work or you're gonna put your ass in the box. Period.
Florida is very different.
Florida rough, bro. Other states be having TVs and shit. There's no AC in this motherfucker. And you talking about Florida. Florida is hot, bro. It's hot and it's humid here. It's in the summer. You in the dorm with no AC. Just to feel the ceiling fans that's spinning on the lowest setting. It's hot, bro. Niggas will bust your ass because it's hot. Like, nigga, you moving too much. You talking too fast. You talking too loud.
You talking too fast.
Like, it's too hot for all that, bro. Sit your ass down somewhere. So I'm sitting here like, bro, I'm a fucking slave. This is crazy. This shit is way bigger than me. I have no control. I felt like an ant and I felt played, right? I felt played. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't like, at the time, my ego couldn't allow me to feel like somebody played me and got over me. I felt played when I started to realize, God damn, this shit is a trap. We trapping all day. We got the trap booming and trap. And here I am in a trap. The state just made $200,000 off me.
Facts.
Man, I don't even get a penny.
Not only that, but when I found out that North Carolina got $40,000 a year for me as a prisoner, and I said to myself, yo, I didn't never have $40,000 in cash at one time.
Right.
I never even seen $40,000 at that point.
Crazy.
So it just kind of blew my fucking mind. Like, yo, they making more money off of me for me just being here than I ever made at any time in my life up to that point.
That's crazy, right?
Because remember, I'm going in as a teenager. I just started working at 15.
Right.
You don't make no money at 15.
You feel played when you find that shit out. You like these motherfuckers played me. Like I got played. Like, and then you start to realize another thing I learned. You start to learn about, like I say, we in the South, so we know what it is. We know about racism. We grow up with it. But you start to learn about the system of it, not just people disliking you for your skin. I started to learn about the system and how it's set up. I started to think, damn, you got it's 100 correctional officers that work in this prison alone. There's 110 prisons in the state of Florida, right? 110 prisons in the state of Florida, not federal prisons, state prisons in the state of Florida. 110. So this is thousands of guards. Then you got state attorneys, judges, police officers, narcotics units, detective. Without me, they don't eat. I'm like,
exactly.
What? I'm like, without me, if I stop doing what I do, right? Because you're like, okay, I don't want to feed them. Like I'm feeding them. Like they don't like me, but they playing me. They don't like me. They want to subjugate me. They playing me. But why am I feeding them? They start to realize, like, why the fuck am I feeding them? That's and it clicked. But the thing is, I didn't learn my lesson, right? I came up with a plan. It's another thing that I learned, right? And I'll segue back into that. But I learned too, sitting there like, okay, because at the time I'm still young, so I still want to be rich, and I don't know other ways. Back then there was no internet. There was no well, there was internet, but we didn't know to use it. It didn't have the information. So I don't know any ways to make money. I just told myself that I was going to be a lot smarter. I'm going to stop hanging out. I'm going to stop carrying a gun with me everywhere I go. I'm going to stop hanging with certain type of people. And I'm going to really put my mind into making money and not just buying cars and, being in the club, popping bottles, being on the scene, being loud. And I made a plan, and my plan worked, right? My plan worked. But then I started to think, okay, I'm about to put myself back because I got out on the same shit, but just I told myself I'm gonna do it bigger and I'm gonna do it. And if they're gonna give me some time, they're gonna have to give it to me. I'm not finna be, you know what I'm saying? I'm not finna play with my life. Either I'm gonna get rich or they're gonna give me the rest of my life in this motherfucker. I'm not finna be playing. Like I'm gonna either go be out here balling or I'm gonna be in here, right? So, but I learned that you have to make a plan and you have to stick to your plan and you have to be disciplined and dedicated to your plan. So I made a plan when I was in prison and I stuck to that plan. Fortunately, I'm still here and I'm still free because I saw things around me started to crumble and I'm smart enough to know to take my shit and run, even if it's going to be broke for the next 10 years, right? Because as you get older, you start to think different, right?
Definitely.
You go from, I used to have the mentality like Jay-Z used to say, and this was like the soundtrack to my life, Jay-Z first album. Like he used to say, I'd rather die enormous than live dormant, right? This was my mentality. I would rather die enormous than live dormant. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I don't know what else to do. You know, I can go out and try to do the rap thing because I know how to rap and make music and shit. But then how am I fund that? Like, how am I get the money to even do that? No, I don't know another way. Like, ain't no Instagram. It ain't no, I don't know dating coaches. I don't know none of this shit. It's just like, okay, what am I going to do? You going to rap or you going to do this? But in order to get the money to do this, you got to. So I tell someone, make me a plan. I'm going to do it. And I'm gonna come when I get out. I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna stop hanging out in the hood. I stopped hanging out in the hood. I stopped claiming hoods, because you know a lot of bullshit come from. You start to realize like, damn, I keep finding myself in jail, but I'm in the places where they train to be at, where the police are trained to watch. I'm standing in it. I'm in a what we call a trap in a fucking house that's in the middle of a dope hole. This dope hole been a designated dope hole by the police in the system for the last 20 fucking years. Who the fuck do I think I am to come try to change some shit and try to be smart? This neighborhood, this block has been a designated dope hole by the court to designate this a dope hole for the last 30 years before I was even born, right? I'm too stupid. I don't even know this. But I started to say, okay, I'm gonna stop hanging in these places. I'm gonna stop hanging with certain type of people. I'm gonna stay away from the rah-rah niggas because them be the niggas that's the police, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just basically, I'm gonna have a plan, right? So I learned to have your fucking plan, right? But at the end of the day, I just rolled the dice and made the sacrifice, honestly. Because like I said, I didn't get out. It was like, oh, I'm gonna just chill, and I didn't get it because I was like, fuck that. Because you know the shit is crime school, man. You go, you meet people who they know little shit, they know this, they got plugs to this and shit. So you know you're getting in it, and that's what I used it for. But I also realized now, okay, I'm playing a game now. I now would realize why they call this the game. I now realize that I ain't the smartest person in the room. So I made my plan and then I stuck to it. But like I say, you feeding a lot of people just by doing what you're doing. And I think that's the most important lesson, that without you, this system don't exist.
Pretty much.
This system cannot exist without you doing what you do. And as I got older, that started to sink and hit me a lot more. And I said, you know what? It was after that Trayvon Martin shit. I'll tell you exactly what sparked it. That Trayvon Martin shit. I was already starting to like, you know, inch away and kind of because things around me was happening. But when that happened, I was like, you know what? Because you see it happening, you know, in your life, you see it happening, but that was something about that was significant to me when he got off like that, right? That was very significant to me. I said, you know what? I'm not contributing to them. They're not gonna eat off me ever again. Right?
Exactly.
They're not gonna eat off the people that's under me. So I'm not gonna contribute to giving some little niggas some work. And you know, he thought I'm not contributing to none of that shit. I'm done. I'm done with that shit. And you know, if I want to shut them down, if I want to, because it's not like I'm shutting down something that's just so positive. These people thrive off of me. And the only reason that the system is even around is to subjugate me. So why, you know, I'm not doing nothing wrong by trying to stop them. So that's what I'm gonna do. They're not gonna get it up out of me no more. Fuck that. I'm cool on that. Y'all can have that shit.
Facts.
If everybody thought like that, everybody that's in the street say, you know what, I'm done. It'll be hundreds of probably millions of people out of work. Millions of people. If you can literally, we talk about, oh, we need to, how we gonna get rid of white supremacy and blah 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 blah. You can literally end it tomorrow. Literally, it'll be literally tomorrow.
Pretty much.
You know
I always say to guys, and I got this from Dr. Wilson and Mr. Fuller, and that is to be constructive in what you do as much as possible. Because to be perfectly honest, guys, we're not going to be able to quote unquote come together. White people already have a contingency plan for that shit. The only coming together we're going to do is under the same code of conduct. And it has to be universal for all of us, meaning every black person could follow it. And it's going to put every black person in a position so that we don't have conflict with each other. Because a lot of what sends us to places like prison is because we have conflict with each other. But a lot of us ain't gonna go stand in front. We know who face to get in. I'll put it like that.
Nah,
You
because
know,
I'm a living proof of it. I wasn't finna cuss out them white people like that. I wasn't finna do it. But that hit me too. Like I'm willing to do all this shit on the street, but then I get in here and I'm scared to say something to the white. I felt that. I felt like a sucker. Like, you know, I'm scared to, like, I let this white boy call me a nigga in my face.
And then with no straightening.
No straightening, no nothing. But I shoot you dead for looking at me wrong when I was on the streets.
Exactly. And that's something that I see a lot of. And that's another reason why I pretty much keep to myself. Is because I don't want to be involved in that. You know, like I say to black people all the time, I'm not on YouTube to be beefing with no black person. Now, if you do some fuck shit, especially to me, I'm gonna call you out on it. But I'm not finna beef with you and to be exchanging all kinds of incriminating words and shit over the internet and go back to jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing none of that. But I will talk about your fuckery.
Right. Yeah, I made a promise to myself that I wasn't gonna do that because I see when I first got into it, I seen the clickiness and the niggas going back and forth and then beefing, and I'm like, these guys have no idea what it's like. They can't know what it's like to come from a place to where, like, you just so glad to be away from shit like that. Like, I'm so glad to be away in a space in my life to where there's no beef. I ain't got to worry about beefing. I'm not finna get on here and be beefing with no other black dudes. Like, I'm not finna. I've been doing that all my fucking life. I'm not finna. We got way bigger shit to tackle, my man. Like, I can't do it. So it's cats that say little punk shit about me. Take their little shot. I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. I'm not gonna even. I probably won't even call him out, honestly, bro. I mean, man, who knows? I still got a little bit of petty in me, but I'm just not here. I made a vow to myself that I'm not gonna do that, and I don't even want to be associated with people who do that. A lot of people I don't fuck with. I ain't talked to them. I ain't even tried to get on their panel because I don't want to be nowhere around that. I've been dealing with that all my life. I'm talking about real beef. So I want to be away from that. I want to be away from bickering and fighting and all this old bullshit. Like, for what? What is that for? I don't give a fuck about. Nah, fuck that, bro. You right. You hit the nail on the head, bro.
Just to because I don't want Mr. Uso think I'm ignoring his comment, but I find that very interesting, and I find it also very unsettling. And that is, his comment says, in Seattle, the prison system has a cost of incarceration fee, so you have to pay a certain amount of money every month to be locked up.
That's crazy.
That's a whole nother level of the game. I wasn't even ready for that shit.
We have that, and I don't think we have that in our prison system, at least not when I was there, but we do have that in our county jail system.
That's crazy.
When you go to jail, you owe their ass.
That's crazy.
Right? So let's say
on top of the check they get from the feds.
You know, for that ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't even your business. Even though it got your name on it, that ain't even your business. Don't even worry about that, Playboy. But when you go to jail, when you go to jail in the county, I think they hit you for 150, bro. 150, maybe 100. I don't know what it is. I think that's what it was back then. So let's say if you got $1,000 in your pocket, right, and you want to put that on your books, you're gonna have $850. And when you don't have no money, you get in a negative. You have a negative balance. So when your people send you money, they taking that first. That shit crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. Very crazy. That's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man, this situation that we in, fellas, I know it seems very bleak. I know it seems like it ain't no light at the end of the tunnel. And trust me, I'm built to take the hits from motherfuckers that's gonna call me crazy, gonna call me a slave, gonna tell me how the fuck I'm got a defeatist attitude. I'm built to deal with motherfuckers like that. I'm here to tell you because I've been through the shit.
Right.
I've been through the mop ringer.
And you can see the system at work, like you said earlier. When you go there, you actually see the system. So y'all motherfuckers just hear about the system. When you go there, you see it.
Exactly. You see it for what it really, really is. And as a matter of fact, I'm glad that you made that point right there, Dre, because when I got out of prison and finally actually stepped back out into quote unquote the free world, I made a very profound quote to myself. I made a statement out loud, and I was just walking up the street to myself. And I said, damn, salute RPC. I said, damn, this shit seemed like just like prison.
Right.
You just got the illusion that you free, but we really not free because I can't do what the fuck I want to do when I want to do it.
You say the wrong thing right now, they'll take your ass to jail. They'll come
Shit.
to police.
You ain't even got to say the wrong thing. You got to have a motherfucker accuse you of some shit.
Right.
And you could lose your job. You could lose everything that you worked hard for the last 15, 20 years of your life.
Right.
You know, I'm pretty sure you heard the stories how a motherfucker that lost his job behind somebody who done called the job on him and didn't bother to even show their goddamn face. Even though in a court of law, you had a right to face your accusers.
Right.
So even in that, you being violated and you don't even realize that you being violated, motherfuckers is fucking with your life illegally. Because based on the Constitution, which is the law of the land, every you know how you get the memorandums and shit at your job, or all of that shit's supposed to be by the Constitution. No law, no other law is supposed to contradict the Constitution.
Right.
So you got motherfuckers out here that accuse you of shit, and if you started legal proceedings, they'd have to show you who it is that's telling on you. But you know, they know that that's too complicated, take a long time, cost too much money. But I say all that to say that that's racism right in your face. You just don't think of it as that.
Mm-hmm.
Because in all likelihood, it's probably some nerdy ass white dude sitting back and he mad because he ain't getting no pussy. And who are you to be on his YouTube?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to say that I really appreciate you coming through, Dre, and
For sure.
speaking on this subject. It's a subject that we don't often talk about. It's a subject that I personally think a lot of other black men are afraid to talk about. We are unaccountable for this shit, very much in the same manner that we say about these women and what they do.
Right.
You know, until we get right, fellas, these women ain't gonna get right.
Right.
So it don't do no good to be complaining about it or them.
Right.
I know it's a dire situation and it's really getting worse by the day. And
Right.
what we fail to do as black men is we don't plan 10, 20, 50, 100, 500 years in the fucking future
Right.
for our progeny, like white folks do and some other groups of people do. And this is partly why we're in the position that we in.
Right.
But we got to get it together, guys. It's shit in this world that's way, way more fucking important than some bitches.
Right.
Matter of fact, these bitches will look at you with some respect when we get ourselves out of this situation. Because truth be told, that's why they don't submit to us as a group of men. They don't have any incentive to do so. Like I said in my other video, why would they submit to us when we get our shit from the same people they get their shit from? If we want to keep it all the way real, fellas, because that's what I'm about. But I really appreciate you coming
For
through,
sure,
Dre.
bro. For sure.
And again, like I said earlier in this dialogue, people may think this is the first time we ever kicked it, on a drop, but that's not true. Just go check the drop that I dropped on the Top Cast earlier or late last year in the summer. That's really back from 2019.
Yep.
And enjoy. That's something that you guys might be a little more palatable for you guys, because this shit right here might be a little too heavy and give you a headache, and you might be depressed until tomorrow, but you'll
Now
be
let me
all
say
right.
something. You know what? Before we get off, let me say something. I want to
Go
say
ahead.
something. Don't think because you went in the streets, your ass can get cased up, right?
Big facts.
Watch the bitches you fucking with. I was in jail, in prison, with plenty of dudes who wasn't street dudes, who didn't sell drugs, who, they wasn't scammers, they wasn't robbers and killers. They was in there because a bitch pushed them. They pushed the bitch back. She fell down and bumped her head, and now they got aggravated battery. Or, they beat the bitch up, or what you shouldn't beat nobody up, right? Or they got into a situation and beat the baby daddy up because he came over there with some bullshit, but they broke his leg when they beat him up, and now they got an aggravated battery charge. Just a lot of crazy bullshit. So you have to be careful and mindful of the females that you dealing with, because you don't have to be in the streets to go to jail.
That's facts. That's facts. And another what I would like to add on to that is we have to realize, fellas. I know this shit sounds depressing, but and Dre spoke to it earlier. We've already lost. We are prisoners of war. We all behind enemy lines. You're gonna have to use your mind and stop fucking off so much.
Right.
Now, I got out of prison in 2001. It's 2021. So I've been out for 20 years, probably as long as some of you motherfuckers been alive. So take it from a motherfucker who know, because I've been there. Take it from King Dre, because he been there.
Yeah, I think I've been out now. How long? What's the 18, 13 years maybe?
That's
13
good.
years. I've been out 13 years. Ain't been to jail, no trouble, no nothing. 13 years.
That's very good. Very good. And bro, I live an average life, and I know I could go to jail at any point. Go a number of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of understand what you're saying, but Carlos, that's very true. As non-white people, you are always under threat of incarceration or death. Now, you can take it for a game or a joke, but we all see this shit on the news all the time. So let's stop playing, because we play all the goddamn time. Time to grow up and really be men. And you ain't gonna do that playing and fucking off your time and making dumbass decisions.
For sure.
Again, I appreciate you for coming through, Dre. You know I'm gonna have you on at some point in the future. Probably
For sure.
gonna do some players ball chop up shit, because I know niggas want to hear about bitches. That's all the fuck niggas want to hear about. If it ain't about bitches, how to get them or how bad they are, motherfuckers don't even want to talk.
Right.
It's all good. I understand. I used to be young, dumb, full of cum, and wet behind the ears once upon a time too. But again, thank you for coming through. If you want to
sure.
if you can plug your social media so the folks can know where to get at you at, then I appreciate it. And just so that folks know, all of the links for his social media is in the video description below. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram at Kingdreism, KINGDRE-ism, and I'm on TikTok. TikTok the same name, Twitter the same name. So Kingdreism. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. King Dre, KingDre. I'm Captain Saver, bro. That's what I do. But I appreciate you for having me on, bro. This was a great discussion. That a lot of people don't really talk about stuff like this, how important this shit is. Fellas, especially black men, you lost. Um, you lost, bro. We lost. So make the best of it. I don't know what else to say about that. You can call me crazy. You can call me defeatist. It is what it is. The system that we live in, we just history. We didn't win. They won. So, play the game or the game gonna play you. You know my slogan. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. But stay out of trouble. Stay out them streets and stay away from the wrong women because like I say, you don't have to be a street guy to go to jail, man. You don't have to be a crack dealer or a robber or a killer to go to jail behind some broad lying on you. You know what I'm saying? Lying on you saying she raped you, or you raped her, you assaulted her, or any other things. Just pay attention to who you're dealing with.
Facts. And I would like to say to you guys, or I would like to second what Dre said to you guys, and implore you guys to get your mind right, man. You learn how to do things that's constructive. The more shit you do constructive, the less justification these motherfuckers got to fuck with you. Not
Right.
saying that they still won't. But can you just imagine if half of the black people in this country was actually doing some constructive shit right now?
And
White people would be having fucking nervous breakdowns if all of the niggas was doing constructive shit.
And I can honestly say, man, going from and you totally right. Certain things you can't blame on the system at the end of the day. You can't really blame everybody for everything, man. I believe in that too, right? Because like I said, when I got out, I ain't been in jail since. And that's, there's a little bit of luck in that, but I made sure that I stayed my ass out the way. I'm constructive. I watch where I go. I watch who I talk to. I watch who I hang with. I watch who I fuck with, and I make sure I'm doing productive things. I ain't even got pulled over. I stopped driving with hats on and smoking cigarettes in my car and speeding and playing my loud music when I'm at the grocery store, when I get gas and the music loud and shit. When I stop doing certain shit, I don't know. It's just
Like you don't even attract those people to you.
yeah, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like I wanted to second that. Like I can't sit here and say, well, it's this or you just gonna be. No, there are things you can do that now you can't. Sometimes you're gonna catch people who predators and they having a bad day or they want to subjugate you, but at the end of the day, a large part of the game is what you don't do. Who you don't get involved with, stay out the way, stay productive, be productive. That way, when something do happen to you, or if God forbid something happens to you, people more so likely to rally around you to get justice for you or to stand behind you if you get caught up in jail over some bullshit or people will stand up and ride for you because you're productive. So be productive. Pay your taxes and just be productive, man. Do what you got to do to be a productive citizen to make this place better for your children, man, your grandchildren. To make the world a better place.
And I'll put it to you this way: make sure you stay your ass in them fucking lines until this shit is over with. Because there is a motherfucker who will put your ass back behind the line. Trust and believe.
Right.
I would like to thank all you guys for coming through. I hope you enjoyed this dialogue between me and King Dre. We definitely gonna get together sometime in the future to give y'all some other topics. I'd like to say thanks to Mr. J2 Trill and shout out to my main man, Mr. Funny Man himself, little Martin Lawrence Jr., Markeith Monroe. Go fuck with my man. Make sure you follow me on my 2 Instagram pages, the Incredible T.O.P and the Top Cast Instagram page. Make sure you check out the Top Cast on Anchor or your favorite podcast outlet. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, do so now. Bring a friend, like, comment, and share the material. I'm going to keep bringing you real shit because this is the type of shit that we really need to be talking about. Plenty of other motherfuckers are talking about hoes. I can talk about them too, but I think this is much, much more important and to help you in your life. For all of those who listen in on the playback, share the video with your friends. Again, Dre, thanks again for coming through.
Appreciate
see you
you.
again soon. And we out, fellas. I'm going to take y'all out with another hot joint from my little homie, Jay Geezer. And I hope you enjoy. Appreciate you, Dre. I'm going to mute us and let these folks enjoy this joint by my young homie.
Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. Same.
Doing numbers in my city, JG, go. This for all my niggas on the I'm getting money in a lot of ways. A nigga on the grind each and every day. Ain't worried about nothing, but getting paid. Middle finger up, fuck what a nigga say. That motherfucker pulled a pistol, now he gotta pay. So I've been looking for this nigga for a couple days. My little cousin told me that she seen his face downtown Moore Square at the bus station. And since then, he done caught a case. So now a nigga gonna have to really wait. Damn, it's hard trying to stay patient, especially when a nigga want his face straight. Until then, a nigga paper chasing. When you see me on the block, watch the player haters. J.G's are pulling Kobe's like he was a Laker. T.I, Chris Brown, we the fucking takers. This for all my niggas on the block. I know nothing's gonna stop us now. Hold it down. Everything we do, we got it locked. This for all my niggas on the block. I know nothing's gonna stop us now. Hold it down. Everything we do, we got it locked. Okay. Yeah. Next up, be the kid with the fresh stuff. All fresh tucks, fresh cut. Come and shut it down. Steady walking with my chest up. Little nigga bigging up my set. Know what's up when I come around. A fresh nigga with a fresh style. Appears on the mic anytime you asking for the best style. And it's the life that I chose, so I gotta say I'm feeling blessed. Focus on the goals, yo, that's how to get the check, get the dough. Bankroll, got those polos, A1s, Cool J, can't go. I got the shot, I'ma let it go. If the block's hot, by yourself, everything goes. I'm from the block, you already know. Started from the bottom, but now we cheapin' like seminar. Laced up, new fit, I'm feeling incredible. You see me, you like, there he go. One more time, there he go. This for all my niggas on the block. I know nothing's gonna stop us now. Hold it down. Everything we do, we got it locked. Okay. Yeah.
I know nothing's gonna stop us now.